It's Deaf in the Dark here. I'm back again. Welcome back to Deaf in the Dark. If you've been wanting to learn Python and you don't know where to start, I'm guessing this video is for you. And especially when let's say you already know a little bit here and there about the Python basics and you want to know, okay, what project can I build as a beginner that is portfolio worthy and actually useful. So today I've got 5 different projects that will take you from an absolute beginner to a confident coder. We're going to climb the ladder by starting very small on the basic, and when I explain what you learn right now, you're building the 5th project, you're actually building an app that talks to the internet. So you become a professional. So let's dive in. I'm going to be using virtual VS Code for this to view the project and everything. And it was a step-by-step tutorial of how to download Python into your system, how to set up your VS Code, whereby you can see the code. Please let me know in the comments below, and we're going to dive. I'm going to create a tutorial. Try my best to edit it and put it out there. So, not to go into too much details as an intro, let's dive into the projects that I'll be talking about today. Well guys, I already have my Virtual Studio open, and I already have the 5 projects that we're going to be working on today. If you notice, I have 2 to-do lists. I'm going to go into details why I have 2. I spent around and decided to do part 1 and part 2. So these are the 5 projects that we're working on. That will take you from beginners to advanced. I can add to your portfolio. I'm going to explain a little details on what the project is all about, and you're going to see how to run it, and it works. You're going to see the result, but the step-by-step guide on how to create the project, that will be a different video on its own. So if you want to see a step-by-step guide on how to create any of the projects listed under my Python project, please do leave a comment and let me know, and I'll ensure to create a tutorial on that. So as you zoom out a bit, so I'm going to click on the first project, which will be a number guessing game. This is zoomed in nicely. It's zoomed in a little bit, so like this, you can also see the code at once. So this is all 18 lines of code. Basically, the goal of this project is that the computer secretly picks a number and you try to guess it. So every time you guess, the Python code gives you an hint if it's too high or too low, or if you got it right. Behind the scenes of this project, as you can see from the code, you're going to learn more about loops, you're going to learn more about if statement, you're going to learn more about random number generator. This is the foundation of every game you ever build, literally. So I'm going to try run my code, and to run it, I already have my terminal open. It wants me to do like an overview of what to do in terms of the setting up of the Virtual Studio. Please leave a comment, let me know. So to run my code, as you can see, Python files, so definitely have to save it with .py. So to run my code, I'm going to use the extension py, or you can use Python 3. That's what I'm using, Python 3. But for this, I'm going to use py, and you have to type in my code. The name that is my code is number_guess.py, and I'll click enter, and that should run my code for me, as you can see in the extension below. I also have like a play button right here that I could have clicked on to play, but it's going to really going to show some details about my files and everything, which I'm sorry not to go go through that route. So you can try and zoom in a bit so that we can see the terminal well. So I'm going to try and guess. According to my code, I told it to give me guess that it should pick a number between 1 and 100. So I'm going to go through and say 70. So it tells me, oh, it's too high. And if I pick 60, it's too high. So I'll go and go 40. Too high, okay? Let's go 20. So that's too high. 30 is too low. So our 40 was too high. Our 30 is too low. So let's try 35. 35 is too high. So it's between 34. Oh! I was excited to get it. So yeah, literally, I got it right in 7 guesses. The one thing our code also does is that it counts the amount of guesses that you guess. So as you keep on guessing, it counts it out and all of that. So to clear it, I'm going to type CLS, and that's like clear my terminal. The next project I'll be talking about is the password generator project. So I'm going to click on, I just say that's password underscore gen.py, and let me zoom out a bit. So as you can see, this is just literally 10 lines of code, basically, and what it does basically is generate a random password for us. So if you're looking for a way that, okay, there's a lot of websites, a lot of accounts I'm creating, how can I help generate a very secure password? You can create a password generator for yourself and help create your own password. And you can always like advance the code to have it saved in a secure file if you want. Or you can just have it to always create one. Just create one and just like, just save it. The purpose of this code is for us to understand clearly on how Python handles strings and I understand as it handles loops. It also talks a little bit about random. We use random in the last project, which is the number guess. So you're going to dive in about, okay, what other type of random choices, or other types of choices do we have under the random library. And plus, I decided it's very, very useful. So I'm going to run it also. And I use py. So py is my password. It's called gen.py. And that should load my code for me. As you can see, it asks me, oh, how long do I want my password to be? Let's say I want it to be 9 letters long. I click enter. And it does create a random password with 9 characters for me. Very, very complicated. I don't think I'll ever come up with a password like this. I mean, you can click the up button to do that. Let's say 4. So it goes ahead to create a random password. So the way I created it, it has like, it is a lot with strings, so you can learn very, very deeply about strings. I don't want to go into much details about it, but let's move on to the next project. So our next project will be our to-do list. We're going to go over the part 1 before I show you all about the part 2. This code is a little bit longer. We have about 29 lines of code, as we can see here. Basically, this helps to keep your tasks organized. As I said earlier, I have 2 types. This first one just helps you show the list. You add the tasks, you can view the tasks, exit the tasks, and all of that integrity. But once you close the terminal, whatever task you've added doesn't get saved. So I created a part 2 which goes in a little bit deeper on how better way to handle the task. And literally when you dive into this code, you're going to learn a little bit about functions. Not too deeply, this just count as an introduction to like functions. Learn more about while loops, and if else statement, basically. And you're also going to learn about something that we call the break. And also different, you have to dive in more into the data types that we have when it comes to Python. I'm going to type CLS to clear my code that I have in my terminal before. Zoom this in. Go to type py and type in my to-do underscore lists .py, and that should run in the options I have for my code. Then you say if I click on 2, I haven't added any taxes, so it's not gonna give me anything. It's gonna show up blank. But if I click on 1 to add a tax, and I had the first tax, you can see, oh, tax added. And I can click on 2, which guide to show me the tax that I have added to my screen. And if I've completed the tax, I can only click on 3, and I give it the tax number, or I can enter tax 1, or tax 2, or tax 3, depending on how many tax I have added on my list. So as you can see, it marked task completed for me. And if I click on view to see it again, you can see a check mark that I've added to my code for it to let me know that, oh, I have completed the task. And I can always click on 4 to exit. That'll be it, basically. I also double click, I just click CLS, and that will clear. I'll still go deeper and go into what I have for my part 2 of my to-do list, which is a little bit longer. It's a little bit longer because it talks more about Python, when it comes to Python, hack and just file. They're going to get introduced into what's called file handling in Python. And this is like a real life skills that you're going to use everywhere. Because there's no way you're creating codes here and there without having to have some files saved somewhere. So fully understand that having an introduction of, oh, how can I create file right in Python? How can I write into it? How can I read into it? How can I add to it? This is going to be like a very, very good introduction to that. So I'm going to click on a button to go over my to-do list and underscore 2. Oh, okay, I think that's a capture. But that's not it. Let's create a for this. I'm trying to get exactly what I wrote on my. It should be yes. But that was zero. I've forgotten how I saved it. So yeah, as you can see, it listed the same options that I have. But when I click on one to view the task, it's going to show me something different. It's going to show no tax file found. Let's start afresh. That's because I've added any tax. So it's yet to create a file for me in regards to that. And I already told you to, instead of my code crashing, I told you to give me an error. Oh my god, I'm already diving into it on the code. But yeah. So yeah, there's like no tax. I can click on to add the tax. Same thing. Notice something that's gonna be created on my left hand side here when I create the tax. So when I click tax 1, I click enter. As you can see, a new text file was created immediately named tax.txt. That's a new text file. And you can see a new tax was created. So that's it live view. I click on 2 and I add the tax 2. And you can see it's immediately right there. And I just click enter. So I can just click on 1 to like view my tax from the terminal. Or I can open the text file and view my tax there. And if I come to the tax, unless I want to delete the tax, I can say 3 to delete the tax, and it's asking for the number like 2, and it says tax deleted. As you can see, the tax I added in line 2 is gone. It's deleted, no way to be found. So I can just click on 4 to exit from my code. So that's that for, I think that should be the 4th code that I'm showing. I know I said 5, But this is just Jara. This is just Jara. Jara. The next one I was talking about is our Python calculator project. As I said, the code is usually way longer. We have 31 lines of code. And I think this is a very, very common project because it's very, very useful. You get to learn more about functions and how it helps to keep your code clean and organized. Each of our functions that we've created is handling addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. You can go ahead and make it complicated because that's not really the math operations that we have in maths, right? So, and this is where you start okay, how can I make my code look more professional, And this is also a very good introduction to you when you want to start learning about modular programming as writing code as skills. Don't worry, I'm going to go deeper into it when we create a tutorial on how to do this project. So basically, same thing, py, I'm going to type in calculator, that's py, and as you can see, it's going to ask me to type in the first number, which I'm going to type in, and let's say just the 4, then the operation, the addition, let's say plus 2, enter, and it gives me that code. So I'm going to go to just type yes, and that will ask me to rewrite the code, the minus, and gives me that. I just click no. I'm done with my code, and I'm just I've said this to clear my terminal. So that is that about the calculator as part of your Python project for beginners. And the last, this is very interesting one, is the weather app. It's very interesting. I was creating this, very, very interesting. So we got to the last project. So, yeah, this Python code is, I think it has to zoom out a bit. You can see it's a little bit short. We have, this is just like an introduction. It's a little bit short. We have 19 lines of code. And here, our Python connects to the internet using something called the API key. The API key that you can see, I'm going to deactivate it so that by the time you copy and paste this, because that ain't going to work. Because you have to go to open weather map and actually get your API key from there, which was what I did. So if you're trying to use this, it ain't going to work. It's not going to work. I'm going to see if there's a way I can blow it. But is it that if you're when you're going through or when you're watching this video is blocked, it's because I ended up deciding to block the API key. But if you can see it, I'm still going to block it in either ways. But yes, I am going to go into detailed video of how to create your own API key. And when we dive deeper, we might actually do a tutorial. If you want, you can also leave a comment down below on how to keep your API key safe. Because this is just a little bit of introduction of how to build Python projects as a beginner, this is not a safe place to put your API key. It's not a safe place to put your API key, but this is where we find ourselves. But yes, I'm going to run the code also by typing py is weather underscore app.py, and that should run the code. So I need to ask me the remote city. So let's say New York, for example. So it's going to give me, this is the current weather for New York, literally. Oh, 10.96 degrees Celsius as overcast, cloud, actually 6 degrees. I think this is usually giving you guys a hint of when this video was recorded. So yes, let's say I enter, I type London. Yeah, we're going to give, you can see the degrees are a little bit similar. Yes, things getting from London. This. Let me type Calgary. I'm looking for a country that's cold. That's cold. This is really the weather in Calgary right now. Oh, yeah, let me use. I know Ghana is. Let me use. Ghana. Yeah. As you can see, it's literally getting all the data from our open weather app. All the data are getting from live. So literally live from the web. And this is good because it makes your code feels very, very much alive. You know? Catch my drifts? So yes. Thank you very much for watching this video. And that's that for the project when it comes to the weather app. So thank you very much for sticking all through to the end of the video. So here's a challenge for you. Start with number 1, the first project we talked about, and work your way up all the way down to the weather app, and get creative, build more. Go outside the box, think about outside the box. Comment below on which project you're going to build first. If you want me to walk through it line by line, let me know. I'll be posting a new video again on Friday. Ensure you subscribe to Definitech, and I hope to see you next time on Friday. Bye.